Welcome back to the Nature Cures podcast, where we uncover the secrets of natural healing and holistic wellness and living your healthiest life naturally. You know that feeling, right? That scratchy throat, the stuffy nose. It's cold season again. And wouldn't it be great if there were a way to support our bodies naturally during these times?
Absolutely. Most of us are no strangers to the common cold.
Yeah.
We're talking about millions of cases each year, each one lingering for days or even weeks.
Okay, so we all get colds, but what I found really intriguing in what you sent over is this idea that maybe colds aren't just something to fight off. It actually frames them as the body's way of getting rid of built-up toxins.
That's right. It definitely challenges how we typically think about colds instead of viewing them as an enemy to suppress with medications. This perspective suggests that maybe our bodies are trying to tell us something.
So if we follow that line of thinking, popping a pill might not be the best approach. Instead, this material dives deep into natural ways to support the body during a cold, and it all starts with something pretty surprising: diet.
Yes, diet plays a central role here. The approach outlined in this material is pretty detailed, but we can break it down. It starts with a 2-day fast, where you're basically cleansing your system with warm lemon water, a touch of honey, or some fruit juice.
A 2-day fast. That sounds intense. I'm guessing it's all about giving your digestive system a break.
Precisely. It's like hitting the reset button. Then for the next 3 days, you're focusing on fresh fruits. Think apples, pears, grapes, even pineapple. The material specifically calls out pineapple juice as being particularly beneficial.
Interesting. But there are some fruits you're not supposed to have, right?
That's right. Bananas, dried fruits, and canned fruits are off the menu during this phase. The focus is on fresh whole fruits to really help with that cleansing process.
And to really double down on that cleansing, the material recommends daily warm water enemas. I have to admit that's not something I typically associate with cold remedies. Can you explain a bit more about the reasoning behind that for our listener?
Sure, for those unfamiliar, an enema is basically a way to flush out the colon. The idea here is to support the body's natural elimination process, potentially speeding up the removal of those toxins that the material believes contribute to cold symptoms.
So it's all about giving the body a little extra help with its natural detoxification process.
Exactly. Then after those 5 days, you slowly start incorporating other foods back into your diet. Seeds, nuts, grains, and vegetables, while still avoiding meat. Fish or eggs, cheese, and starchy foods for a little while longer.
Got it. So after that initial reset and cleanse, it's all about nourishing your body with healthy whole foods. And speaking of nourishment, there's one nutrient that this material is particularly excited about: vitamin C.
Yes, vitamin C is a major player here. It even claims that vitamin C acts as a natural antibiotic. And they back this up with the work of a pretty prominent figure, Dr. Linus Pauling.
Oh, wow. A two-time Nobel Prize winner. Not just anyone, that's for sure.
Exactly. Dr. Pauling was a huge advocate for vitamin C and its role in immunity. The material actually highlights his recommendation to take around 100 to 200 milligrams of vitamin C daily for prevention. And if you do feel a cold coming on, they suggest upping that to as much as 500 milligrams every hour.
That's a lot of vitamin C.
Yeah.
But it really speaks to how important the material believes it is for boosting your immune system. And alongside vitamin C, it also highlights a whole bunch of specific natural remedies that I'm really eager to dig into.
Me too. There are some really interesting ones in here. One that really stood out to me was lime.
Oh, lime. I wouldn't have thought of that as a go-to cold remedy.
Well, according to this material, lime is considered one of the most effective home remedies for colds, especially when you dilute it in some warm water with a bit of honey.
So what's so special about lime?
The material suggests that it helps increase your body's resistance, reduce toxicity, and even shorten the duration of a cold.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to have to add some limes to my shopping list.
I think we all might after this.
All right, so we've got lime, but what other gems are hiding in this material? There's got to be more.
There are, and one you're probably already familiar with is garlic. It's a classic cold remedy, and this material highlights its powerful properties. Garlic has long been recognized for its antiseptic and antispasmodic properties.
Right.
The material suggests that it can help clear out those toxins we were talking about earlier, and even references traditional garlic soup as a cold remedy.
Oh, wow, garlic soup. I've heard of that,
Yeah.
but never tried it. Maybe it's worth a shot next time I feel a cold coming on. Speaking of traditional remedies,
Yeah.
what else does the material mention?
Well, there's ginger, another popular ingredient in many cold and cough remedies.
Oh, yeah.
It's often enjoyed as a warm tea with a little bit of honey or sugar to sweeten it up.
Ginger tea is definitely one of my go-tos when I'm feeling under the weather. It's so soothing.
It is, and it's fascinating how many of these remedies have been used for generations. Another one that falls into that category is turmeric.
Turmeric, that bright yellow spice.
The very same. The material actually recommends using it in a couple of ways internally, as you might expect, but also through inhalation.
Okay.
They suggest inhaling turmeric smoke to help with a runny nose.
Inhaling turmeric smoke. Now, that's something I might have to research a bit more. Sounds pretty intense.
It definitely caught my attention too. But yeah, this material doesn't just focus on specific ingredients, it also dives into the therapeutic power of water.
Ah, yes, water therapies.
Huh?
I'm really interested to hear about this. What kind of water treatments does it suggest for colds?
It covers a whole range from hot baths and steam baths to things like hot packs and fomentations.
Fomentations. Can you explain what those are for our listener?
Of course, fomentations are basically warm, moist compresses that you
Okay.
apply to different parts of the body. The material suggests that they can be really helpful for chest colds.
So it's all about using the warmth and moisture to ease congestion.
Exactly. And for those same reasons, the material recommends things like steam inhalation and even gargling with warm salt water.
That makes sense. I know steam can really help open up those nasal passages. The material also mentions foot baths and hip baths, right?
Yes, those are more about inducing sweating, which is another way the body naturally releases toxins.
And then there are cold chest packs, which seem a bit counterintuitive.
They do, don't they? But the material explains that cold chest packs can actually help draw out congestion from the lungs and clear out that built-up mucus.
So it's like using temperature strategically to help the body heal itself. That's really interesting.
It is, and what's also fascinating is that this material goes beyond just specific remedies. It emphasizes the importance of supporting your overall well-being during a cold.
I can see how that would make a big difference. What kind of things does it suggest?
Things like getting some mild sun exposure, breathing in fresh air, taking deep breaths, going for brisk walks, ensuring you're getting enough sleep, and even just adjusting your clothing to match the weather.
So it's a reminder that healing is about more than just addressing the symptoms. It's about taking care of your whole self.
Precisely. And the material even touches on yogic practices as something worth exploring, things like specific poses, cleansing techniques, and breathing exercises.
It sounds like it takes a really holistic approach.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I'm curious what stood out to you as the most interesting takeaway from all of this. For me, it's this underlying idea that our bodies have an innate ability to heal, and that maybe colds are a sign that we need to support that process instead of just trying to shut it down.
That's a powerful takeaway. And what's fascinating is that the material provides so many simple, natural ways to do just that, things that many of us already have in our kitchens or can easily incorporate into our daily routines.
Exactly. It's like a reminder that we have more power than we think when it comes to our health.
Yeah.
So what do you think has this deep dive inspired you to try any of these natural approaches?
It definitely has. I'm already a big fan of ginger tea, but I'm intrigued by that lime remedy and definitely want to learn more about those turmeric inhalations.
Me too. And I think our listener will be right there with us, eager to experiment and find what works best for them. But before we sign off, I want to emphasize that everything we've discussed today is for informational purposes only. It's always wise to consult with your healthcare provider before making any major changes to your health routine, especially if you have any underlying conditions.
Absolutely. We're all about empowering you with information, but ultimately you know your body best.
Well said, and a huge thank you to you, our listener, for joining us on this deep dive into natural cold remedies. We hope you found it insightful and, dare I say, maybe even a little inspiring.
And who knows, maybe the next time a cold tries to slow you down, you'll be armed with some new natural allies to help you sail through.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on what we've explored today. Have you tried any of these remedies yourself? Do you have any go-to natural approaches for cold season? Share your experiences with us. And if there are any other topics you'd like us to deep dive into, let us know. We're always up for an adventure in natural wellness. Until next time, stay healthy and stay curious.